Kate Middleton steps out with the royal family for their annual Christmas Day walk to church. The Princess of Wales is seen alongside her husband, Prince William, and their 3 children, Prince George, Princess Charlotte, and Prince Louis, as they make their way through the crowd of onlookers at St. Mary Magdalene Church at Sandringham.
It is safe to say that Princess Charlotte has emerged as one of the most cherished members of the British royal family. Her poise, charm, and the natural grace that she brings to every public appearance have already earned her a reputation, despite the fact that she is only 8 years old. On the other hand, it was not her dazzling smile or her royal ancestry that grabbed the attention of people all over the world during a recent event. The unexpected and heartwarming act of kindness that turned heads and sparked admiration all over the world was what turned heads and sparked admiration. The world was shocked by Charlotte's decision to stop everything in order to assist a child who had gone missing while she was on her way to a high-profile royal engagement. This decision demonstrated a level of empathy that was far beyond her years. The young royal had a typical start to the day, just like any other. Charlotte, who was accompanied by her family, was on her way to a grand event. She was wearing a classic coat that was impeccable, and she was holding the hand of her mother, Princess Catherine. The streets were packed with adoring fans and flashing cameras, all of whom were eager to get a glimpse of the royal family. But in the midst of all the chaos, Charlotte noticed something that other people had missed. A young child who was standing by themselves on the crowded street, obviously confused and overcome with fear. Charlotte did not show any reluctance at that precise times. While others continued with the day's meticulously planned schedule, she deviated from the royal protocol and approached the child with the kind of self-assurance and compassion that seemed to be far beyond her years. Witnesses described how Charlotte's calm demeanor and soothing words reassured the child, which in turn set off a chain of events that resulted in the young child being reunited with their family. What was it about this particular moment that struck such a chord with people all over the world? Perhaps this is due to the fact that Charlotte's actions exhibited a level of unfiltered humanity that is uncommon in public figures. We invite you to join us as we investigate this extraordinary event, the emotional responses it elicited, and the long-lasting impact of a young royal's genuine act of kindness. These are the events that transpired when Princess Charlotte shocked the entire world by putting her compassion ahead of tradition. There was a lot of activity and excitement in the air on that particular day in London, which was a bright and happening morning. It was a highly anticipated charity gala that the royal family was on their way to attend. The purpose of the event was to highlight the royal family's commitment to providing assistance to children and families who are in need. There was a buzz of anticipation from onlookers who were hoping to catch a glimpse of their favorite royals, and the streets were filled with adoring fans waving flags and photographers competing for the perfect shot. As always, Princess Charlotte exemplified poise and elegance whenever she was in the spotlight. Both she and her mother, Princess Catherine, were seen walking hand in hand. She was wearing a coat of navy blue color and had a ribbon that matched the color in her hair. All eyes were on her as she confidently made her way towards the grand venue. Her youthful energy was balanced by a maturity that belied her age, and she was the center of attention because of this. Every aspect of the day had been meticulously planned with great attention to detail until something completely unexpected occurred. Charlotte became aware of something that was out of place amidst the flurry of activity that was occurring as the royal motorcade slowed down near the entrance to the event. A young child was seen standing by themselves close to a lamppost on the edge of the busy street. They had tears streaming down their face, and their little hands were clenching tightly to a stuffed animal that was in a state of disrepair. It was a striking contrast to the jubilant crowds that were surrounding them, that they appeared to be overwhelmed and out of place. When Charlotte's sharp eyes focused on the distressed child, others were caught up in the excitement of the royal family's arrival. Charlotte's eyes were focused on the child. As she pointed towards the location, she gently pulled on her mother's hand and tugged on it. As Princess Catherine looked down, her expression softened as she became aware of the same thing that her daughter had brought to her attention. It appeared as though the child was no more than 5 or 6 years old, and their eyes were darting nervously as if they were looking for a familiar face among the sea of strangers. In a calm and deliberate manner, Charlotte approached the child without any hesitation, her movements being deliberate and calm. The personnel in charge of security, who were initially confused about what was going on, quickly adjusted their position to give her some space. It was impossible to predict what the young royal would do next, so the onlookers watched in stunned silence. As a matter of fact, it is unheard of for a member of the royal family to deviate from the script that has been meticulously prepared for public appearances. The child's eyes widened in recognition of the princess as Charlotte approached, and the child's tears began to slow down. Charlotte, however, did not overwhelm the child with questions or attention. Rather, she knelt down to their level and spoke in a soft and reassuring tone. After some time had passed, witnesses recounted how Charlotte had spoken to the child with a level of kindness and composure that left everyone with astonishment. "Are you perplexed?" she asked in a soft voice. "Don't be concerned. We will assist you in locating your family." The child confirmed that they had become separated from their parents by nodding, their barely audible voice barely audible as they announced their confirmation. Charlotte, who was able to keep her composure throughout the interaction, extended her hand to the child, who displayed only a brief moment of hesitation before accepting it. One small hand clasped in another was a simple gesture that conveyed a great deal of meaning. It was a moment of trust, connection, and reassurance, all at the same time. Charlotte was given the opportunity to take the initiative while Princess Catherine stood nearby and watched with pride. She was always prepared to lend a helping hand if it was required. Royal security and staff members in the surrounding area acted swiftly and coordinated their efforts in a covert manner in order to locate the child's family. During this time, Charlotte remained by the child's side, not only providing them with words of comfort, but also demonstrating her own handbag in an effort to divert their attention away from their anxiety. As the search progressed, the crowd started to become aware of what was taking place among them. Astonishment could be heard reverberating through the audience onlookers. The moment was not a rehearsed moment for the cameras. Rather, it was a genuine act of compassion from a royal child who was only 8 years old and saw someone in need and decided to assist them. A great number of people expressed that they were profoundly moved by the sight of Charlotte stepping away from the grandeur of her role in order to engage with the child in such a personal and sincere manner. After a few tense minutes, the parents of the child were found, and they were searching the crowd in a frantic manner for their child, who had gone missing. When they were brought back together, there was not a single witness who did not shed a tear. The parents gave their child a warm embrace and expressed their gratitude to both Charlotte and the royal team in a heartfelt manner. The moment that Charlotte smiled at the child and gave them a small hug before saying goodbye was the most heartwarming part of the reunion. She also whispered something that made the child laugh despite the tears that were streaming down their face. None of the people in the crowd would ever forget the moment that took place. Princess Charlotte, who was on her way to a royal event that required her to be punctual and show proper decorum, had made the decision to prioritize humanity over protocol. In a way that was both straightforward and profound, it served as a reminder to everyone who was watching that compassion does not wait for permission. Rather, it acts when it is most required. The tale of a princess who stopped to assist a child who had become lost would soon be making headlines all over the world, demonstrating that even the most insignificant acts of kindness can have a significant and long-lasting impact. The decision that Princess Charlotte made to turn around and assist a child who had become lost while she was on her way to a royal event was more than just an act of kindness. It was a moment of profound humanity that left everyone who witnessed it feeling profoundly moved. The actions of Charlotte stood out as a reminder that genuine compassion is not limited by any barriers, not even the gilded ones of royalty. Even though she was surrounded by the typical pomp and pageantry that is associated with royal life. As soon as Charlotte became aware of the distressed child who was standing by themselves close to a lamppost, she took immediate action. After receiving unspoken encouragement from her mother, the young princess took the initiative to move forward, deviating from the predetermined course of action that had been established for the royal family. Her approach to the child was one of quiet confidence, and her movements were deliberate while remaining calm. Later on, witnesses remarked that the event was a magical one, describing it as if it were a scene taken directly from a fiction book. Charlotte lowered herself to the child's level and smiled warmly while speaking in a soft voice. "It's okay," she said, maintaining a calm and soothing tone in her voice. Charlotte's presence must have felt like a lifeline to the child who was crying and scared. "We'll help you find your parents," she said. In spite of the fact that she was surrounded by a bustling crowd and the intimidating presence of royal security, the princess was able to instill a sense of security and reassurance through the use of words that were both straightforward and profound. An aspect that was particularly moving was the fact that Charlotte had the natural tendency to extend her hand. When the child finally took it, their little fingers curled around hers. There was a brief moment of hesitation before they did so. In a gesture that conveyed a great deal of meaning, a trusting relationship was established between two young souls, with one of them providing solace and the other looking for it. In this one moment, Charlotte was able to capture the essence of her innate empathy, which is a quality that she has unquestionably inherited from her parents. But Charlotte did not depart from that point. While security personnel began organizing a search for the child's family, the princess remained close by, providing more than just a physical presence. She provided a sense of care for the child. As she knelt down next to the child, she addressed them with a gentle question about their name and reassured them that everything would be fine. "How do you feel about animals?" The question was posed at one point, and she pointed to the stuffed animal that was being held tightly in the hands of the child. The child's face broke through the fear and sadness thanks to the question, which was straightforward but thoughtful. It brought a small smile to the child's face. Charlotte continued to interact with the child, displaying a level of patience and understanding that was far beyond her years as the minutes ticked by. At a certain point, she opened her small handbag and displayed to the child a trinket that she had concealed within it. It could have been a charm or a keepsake that she carried with her. When the child's eyes lit up, it momentarily diverted their attention away from their worry. The brief but powerful reminder that even the smallest acts of kindness can have a significant impact on the lives of others was provided. In the meantime, the crowd that had gathered to witness the arrival of the royal family was now completely captivated by this unexpected scene. As the young princess took command of the situation with a grace that appeared to be almost innate, the onlookers muttered in awe as they watched her manage the situation. A great number of people expressed that they were profoundly moved by her actions, particularly due to the fact that they felt so genuine and unforced. One of the witnesses made the observation that she wasn't doing it because she's a royal. It was because she cared that she did it. At some point, the child's parents were found and identified. A couple of frantic adults emerged from the crowd, their faces displaying a mixture of panic and relief as they saw their child standing with Princess Charlotte. They were completely overcome with emotion. A round of applause broke out from the crowd as the parents rushed forward, tears streaming down their faces. Although Charlotte gave the child back to their parents in a gentle manner, she did not forget to give them a quick hug before she left. Charlotte was clung to by the child for a brief moment, before the child was swept up into the arms of their parents. The child was now smiling through their tears. Charlotte remained calm and collected even after the situation had been resolved. She remained for a brief period of time longer, and she spoke to the parents in a brief manner with the quiet confidence of someone who was significantly older. Witnesses said that she maintained her composure and calmness throughout the entire ordeal, which is a testament to her natural empathy and poise. However, her exact words were not overheard. Even though the entire event was only a few minutes long, it had an immediate and significant impact on the audience. The atmosphere had undergone a discernible shift as the royal family resumed their journey to the event before they arrived. What had begun as a routine public appearance had evolved into a moment of collective inspiration for the audience. Everyone in the room, and soon the entire world, was reminded by Charlotte's actions that acts of kindness do not require grand gestures or elaborate plans when they are performed. Simply put, it requires a willingness to take action whenever someone is in need of assistance. This was not merely an act of charity or duty for Princess Charlotte. Rather, it was so much more. She is a young girl who was brought up to understand the significance of compassion and human connection. And this was a reflection of who she is. Those who were present were left with an indelible impression due to her capacity to maintain composure in the face of adversity and to establish a genuine connection with a person who was experiencing distress. The unscripted act of kindness that Charlotte performed stood out as a shining example of genuineness in an era in which royal appearances are frequently choreographed down to the smallest detail. During that particular moment, it was demonstrated that true royalty is not about crowns or titles. Rather, it is about leading with heart. In the case of a youngster who is destined to spend their entire life in the spotlight, Charlotte's actions have established a motivational example that will be remembered for many years to come. Not only was it a heartwarming act of compassion on the part of Princess Charlotte to stop and assist a child who had gone missing, but it was also a courageous departure from the accepted royal protocol. When making public appearances, members of the British royal family are expected to adhere to a certain level of formality, as well as to adhere to carefully planned schedules and security measures. Very few people deviate from this structure, even if it is for a gesture that comes from the heart. On the other hand, Charlotte's decision to put everything on hold and offer assistance on that particular day served as a timely reminder that there are times when humanity must take precedence over tradition. Royal engagements are carefully choreographed every step of the way, each and every second of the family's journey, beginning with the moment they exit their vehicles and ending with the moment they greet their hosts, is meticulously planned to ensure accuracy and safety. With royals waving, smiling, and adhering to their roles as representatives of the monarchy, public appearances frequently place an emphasis on maintaining a sense of composure during the event, stopping to interact with individuals, particularly in a manner that is both personal and unscripted, has the potential to disrupt the flow of the event, which is something that is typically avoided. Yet Charlotte did not show any reluctance. She did not wait for approval from security or take into consideration the expectations that were placed upon her when she saw the child who had gone missing. Instead of adhering to the rigid boundaries of royal decorum, she went against the grain and followed her initial instincts. She demonstrated that compassion can and should take precedence over formality, even in the most structured of settings, by conducting herself in this manner. In the royal family, breaking protocol is not unheard of. However, decisions to do so are typically made after careful consideration. The extraordinary nature of Charlotte's actions was a direct result of the fact that they were so natural and spontaneous. Neither a trace of hesitation nor any indication that she was concerned about going against the grain was present. She displayed a level of maturity and empathy that was well beyond her years. Despite the fact that she was only 8 years old, she prioritized kindness over ceremony. Her actions are also a reflection of the influence that her parents, Prince William and Princess Catherine, have had on her over the years. Her parents have made it a priority to instill in their children the values of compassion and relatability. Their dedication to bringing up a new generation of royals who are not merely figureheads, but rather compassionate individuals who are able to connect with the people they serve, was demonstrated by the fact that they gave Charlotte the opportunity to take the initiative in providing assistance to the child. The decision that Charlotte made to deviate from the norm not only made the day more enjoyable, but it also provided a new definition of what it means to be a royal in the modern era. The way in which she carried out her duties demonstrated that the essence of leadership is not found in ceremony, but rather in the capacity to act with heart and humanity. It wasn't just about following the rules at this moment, it was also about putting the things that really matter first. When Princess Charlotte stopped to assist a child who had become lost, it quickly became the story that people all over the world couldn't stop talking about that moment. Those who were present during the touching conversation were so moved that they took to social media almost immediately, posting photos and recounting what they had witnessed through their accounts. The story of Charlotte's compassionate act went viral within a matter of hours, capturing the attention of people from all walks of life and igniting widespread admiration for the young royal. Hashtags such as Princess Charlotte Kindness and Royal with a Heart started trending on social media platforms such as Twitter, Instagram, and Facebook. Princess Charlotte is only 8 years old, and she is already showing us what it means to lead with compassion. With one tweet reading, "Princess Charlotte is already showing us what it means to lead with compassion. How wonderful of a model." Another person wrote, "It is moments like these that remind us that the royals are human too, and Charlotte's humanity is a shining example for all of us." The story was quickly picked up by media outlets all over the world, which increased its reach. The majority of news outlets were dominated by headlines such as "Princess Charlotte's act of kindness steals the show" and "A royal moment of humanity that melted hearts everywhere." The young royal had shown the kind of empathy and quick thinking that leaders twice her age could aspire to have, and commentary on television programs and online forums was buzzing with praise for her accomplishments in this regard. Because of the story's genuineness, it struck a particularly profound chord with the audience. It was not a planned royal engagement or a staged photo op. Rather, it was an unplanned act of kindness that gave Charlotte the opportunity to demonstrate her genuine personality. Many people found this moment to be a welcome departure from the formality that is typically associated with occasions involving royalty. It brought to light a new generation of royals who are approachable, compassionate, and willing to break away from their traditional roles in order to connect with regular people. Additionally, Charlotte's actions sparked meaningful conversations about the importance of community and kindness, in addition to the immediate praise she received. While some parents discussed how they had used the story to teach their own children about the importance of helping others, others reflected on the ways in which even seemingly insignificant acts of compassion can have a significant impact. Some organizations even reported an increase in the amount of money donated to charities that assist children and families who are struggling as a direct result of Charlotte's act of kindness. After some time had passed, the parents of the child who had been lost communicated their profound appreciation to the media. They expressed their gratitude by saying, "What Princess Charlotte did for our little one is something that we will never forget. She demonstrated to us and the rest of the world what genuine kindness looks like." The uncomplicated yet profound act that Princess Charlotte performed not only won hearts, but it also served as a model. In this day and age of viral moments, hers was a unique story that went beyond trends, motivating people all over the world to make compassion and empathy a priority in their own lives. The spontaneous act of kindness that Princess Charlotte performed was not only a heartwarming moment, it was also a powerful statement about the significance of compassion, even in the most structured and formal of situations. Her choice to deviate from royal protocol in order to assist a child who had gone missing served as a timely reminder that the very best examples of humanity can be found in the most unassuming of actions. Charlotte, who was only 8 years old at the time, exhibited characteristics of maturity and empathy that struck a chord with people all over the world. It was the genuineness of this moment that made it so profoundly significant. Being a genuine response to someone who was in need, it was neither planned nor rehearsed in any way. Charlotte's actions reflected the values that were instilled in her by her parents, Prince William and Princess Catherine, who are raising the next generation of royals to prioritize kindness and connection over ceremony. Both of these values are reflected in Charlotte's actions. Charlotte demonstrated that leadership is not about titles or appearances. Rather, it is about taking action when it matters the most. She succeeded in this endeavor by following her instincts. The reaction of people all over the world to this event brought to light how much the world yearns for moments of genuine humanity. As a result of Charlotte's gesture, everyone was reminded that even seemingly insignificant acts of kindness can have a significant impact, as evidenced by the fact that social media users praised her actions and headlines celebrated her demonstration of empathy. Not only did her actions elicit admiration, but they also sparked conversations about the significance of rendering assistance to others, irrespective of one's social standing or privilege. It is without a doubt that this particular moment will stand out as a defining example of Princess Charlotte's character as she continues to mature in the public eye. She has already demonstrated that she is more than just a figure of royalty. She is a young leader who is compassionate and has the potential to inspire meaningful change. The importance of this story cannot be overstated for any of us. In a world that frequently gives the impression of being disconnected, Princess Charlotte's uncomplicated act serves as a rallying cry to recognize those who are in need, to display kindness, and to keep in mind that even the most insignificant actions can have a profound impact on the world.